this live stream with the fact that we are having continuing or ongoing internet issues. So once we left Chinese waters and all of that, we got our good speed internet back, which was fabulous. And then, but the strange thing that's happened.
Blippy stuff.
Oh, anyway,
No,
sorry. So I noticed this with my phone, even not when we're doing not live streams, but it keeps telling me, oh, my internet connection was restored. And I'm like, when did it drop out? Anyway, so it's been going on and off since we at least got the speeds back, which was having the speed back is nice.
Everybody's popping in so fast.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I can't keep up with the read of us.
So let's see. We've got Yogi Bear. Hi.
Hello.
Marvel Dunaway. Legs. Hi, Leg. I remember seeing Legs before. Welcome back. Dave. Rice Man. Ash. Tink. I can't read it because of the background. Beth, good to see you. DJT. Susie, Tamara, Britley, Princess. Hi, Legs. D. Marie. I think that's Dawn. My Little Life. Sally. Nicole, Lori, Bets, J-Mem. Hi, J-Mem. Welcome back. Will, Nate. I think I got everybody in the list so far. If I missed you, say hello, and I'll make sure to do a shout out.
Welcome.
Yes, hey, Dawn. Cook with Bree, Ella. Good to see you guys all. Amanda, hi. Simone Zen. And also there was an F that. I just didn't want to use the curse word. January, good to see you. Rian, good to see you. Daisy, Elizabeth, Adam. Wow. Tons of people today.
Wow.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Or good evening to everybody. So
Glad you're with us.
As I was just saying, we were having a little technical difficulty. Steve just had to restart his phone because we're having issues with our internet connection to our phone going in and out. And it's been happening since we got our speeds back. And it's nice to have the speeds back, but also kind of frustrating when the connection keeps dropping. So that's what happened on his phone just now. So I'm crossing my fingers it doesn't happen again while we're here. Tamara, Amanda, good to see you all. Kimberly, Nurse Susie, Q, Don Grillo, and
user number.
Jerry Joe. I wonder if that's a relative. Kevlar, Grady. If it's not,
I didn't see it.
So I saw Jerry Joe. We have a relative named Jerry Joe. I'm not sure if that's you or not. If it is, say hi.
I'd have to see it. See how she spells it.
Yeah. Heather, Kathy, Mary, Roxy, Chameleon.
Yeah.
Wow, lots of people today. I'm really excited about this.
Yeah. We're thankful y'all are with us. Thank you very much for joining.
Loretta, Trishy, Jade. Gosh. Okay, I'm going to get into it. So again,
welcome everybody.
Welcome to everybody. We've been having internet issues that hopefully aren't going to be a big part of this. So I wanted to start off with yesterday because we kind of had a momentous day yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were in Kagoshima, Japan, and we didn't have a plan.
No, but we took a really expensive short excursion.
Hold on. We didn't have a plan. So, which is okay. So we have to do immigration, a face-to-face immigration in Japan for every one of the stops, which is not normal for some of the other places. Normally they do the immigration behind the scenes, with our passports, and we just get off the ship.
But we have so many stops too, so.
Right, and we have tons of stops in Japan. We've already had a couple. We had 2 more just recently, and 2 days in Tokyo, so I'm counting that as 2, Mount Fuji and Osaka. So we've got 4 more stops in Japan.
Well, we got Tokyo.
I said that.
We just said you're counting it as 2. That's 3. Tokyo, Mount Fuji, and Osaka.
And it's 4 if you count this twice.
Well, yeah, 2 days in Tokyo.
So I'm counting it twice. Anyway, so
doesn't matter.
Yes. So the big thing for the last 2 stops in Japan is I was looking for an HSBC because from what we've heard from everybody else, the fees for changing currency are really high.
Hi, Katie. Hi, Charity.
Hi, Katie and Charity. Welcome back, Katie. So the reason for looking for the HSBC is I have an account there, and if I am by some chance charged for service fees or whatever, they always refund them to me. So I don't have to pay extra for currency conversions when I use an ATM. And we weirdly found out that even though HSBC has branches here, they don't offer banking services. So that was weird. Anyway, so we had borrowed some local currency on one of our other stops, but we didn't have enough really to get through the day. So that was like a goal. We had a lot of the taxis, we were told, you know, it's kind of a crapshoot on whether or not they take credit cards. So we sat in the taxi line stood in it for a good half hour. And we were probably, based on how the line was moving, probably at least another half an hour away from getting to the front of it. And then, Charity, are you in Vietnam? No, we are not in Vietnam yet. We're still doing Japan for the next week or so.
Yes.
So we decided to get out of the taxi line since we weren't sure if they were even going to be able to take credit cards, and we were walking into town to a train station, which normally in train stations you can use credit cards to buy.
And it's trams. It's not the full train, was it?
Right, tram and buses.
Just trams.
So
just a local tram thing.
The local public transportation.
Yeah.
So we get to the spot where everybody's lined up to get on, and find out we don't have enough cash left.
And also,
which is my fault for buying
there's not a little
bonds.
kiosk where you can purchase
Right.
Whatever tickets you're looking for with a credit card.
Right. So it's people walking
there was
around
a
with a specific type of purse that had the passes in them. And by the way, the passes look like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
It's like a scratch off.
So luckily some friends, I'm going to show that. So
You got to scratch off the date.
You scratch off the date that you were there.
Sort on the side.
Since we paid for, since we paid for 1 day, we scratch off the date, and we just have to show this to the driver when we get off, so they can see that we've got the appropriate pass for the day. So we were about, I want to say 100 yen short. So luckily there were some friends of ours there who fronted us some cash, and by the time we still weren't sure exactly where we needed to get off. So we all ended up getting off as a group.
And found some lunch.
Had this
very good.
This hole in the wall ramen place that was had really amazing food. And
it's good stuff.
Do you want to share the first part of the story?
Well, no, we'll get to the whole part of it. But there was a table that had people from the ship.
Thanks for the love, TJ.
Then there was
Marie,
there was 2 people from the ship, and then there was another group that came in just a little before we were finishing up, and we chatted with them for a second, and then we finished up, us and the friends we were with, and decided to head on out. And we had already looked for. We had to find a 7-Eleven and to get cash. They have the cash machines where you can get local currency from a debit card, and it's not too outrageous.
Right. Oh, sorry.
So there was a 7-Eleven. I mean, just 1 block over in this little shopping district. It took less than a minute to get there. And by the time we came back out, you'd gotten a little ice cream thing, and I'd gotten some little chilled coffee.
Because they only give you big bills.
Yeah, so we had to buy something to get some smaller change, and so we get out there. We just kind of set across the little street from the 7-Eleven was 3 little stool things. So we just kind of parked right there to try to get our stuff together and get our drink. We did a few little videos there, and that's when I realized I had left my little GoPro sitting on the counter. So we were eating at the little counter part. I left it sitting there when we left. So I ran back over there.
Thanks, Kimberly, for the love.
I ran back over there, and the group of 4 that was just getting about ready to leave, the people from the ship, I walk in and everyone's like, "Oh, hey!" You know. And so they had picked it up, and they'd given the restaurant owners their cabin number here on the ship, just in case I did come back and they weren't there, that they could.
Hi, Christy. Hi, Des. Hi, Rose.
At least I would know where
Hi, Pippi.
my camera had gone. So that was fantastic. It was wonderful of them to do that.
I go home.
And so I recovered my GoPro at that point from them, and we go back around, and the couple little family that had eaten lunch with, we gotten off and ridden the tram with. They were at the 7-Eleven coming out, so we all just kind of walked together for a little bit, and then they were going to catch the bus, and we said, "Oh, we'll go ahead and grab the tram because we're going to go up a little bit more north to a garden that I'd spied."
Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
So, Katie, the ship does have currency ATM machine or ATM, but because we're visiting so many countries, they're only carrying certain kinds of currency, and the Japanese yen was not one of them.
Yeah.
And by the way, good to have the community around. Yes, it is very nice for that.
Yes.
And by the way, so I know we tend to babble on a lot, but if you guys have any questions, please just pop them in, and I will
we'll pause
interrupt myself or interrupt Steve so that we can answer your questions. Because that's kind of what makes these more interesting. So we think we know what you guys want to hear about, but that's not always true. So anyway, we didn't really have a plan. We had kind of looked things up. We were thinking about the volcano, but it was really far away. And then there was a garden, the Shijin,
Shijin, whatever. I can't pronounce it correctly.
Anyway, particular garden, and we weren't sure exactly which stops to get there because it was something between the tram and the bus, and it looked like the tram took you pretty close, but in fact it did not. Anyway.
So we get on the tram. You want to go ahead and go with this, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So we get on the tram, we start cruising along, and I thought, oh hey, I've got a little suction cup adapter for my my GoPro, one of the other ports, and I was really enjoying. So I started playing. Got it on the window, was taking some video, and then I also did some with my cell phone, and so we get to the end of the line, and we're like, how are we what do we need to do to get to the garden we want to go to? We started looking, trying to find.
Did a bigger map there and more English conversions on it.
From that last stop, the end of the line station we hit, it was going to be a good little trek past that. And we got off, started looking. There was a cab there. I checked with him, did not take credit cards, and we didn't want to spend all of our cash on a one-way taxi and not have enough to get back. So, and there was no buses right there that were there immediately, and it didn't even look like we was going to have to go all the way back around opposite before we got back up to the north of us where the garden was. So we thought, that's not such a great idea. That'll take too much time. So we'll just go. I looked real quick on the phone on Google Maps and found there was another garden not too far away. I think it's like
I heard
maybe a mile.
I heard 2 blocks, but that's not what it was.
No, not what I said.
That's not what he said, but that's what I heard.
But so we start trekking up there, and this part of the shore we cut short. We start heading back when we were headed back to the ship at the end of the day. I realized I had left the GoPro in the panic of it's the end of the line. How do we get to that garden we wanted to go to? I had left the GoPro attached to the window.
So that was the expensive part of the excursion.
Yeah. And I was just getting into using it, starting to figure out how I'm going to operate with it. But but it was frustrating.
Yes, I know.
I just started. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to figure out what I can do. And the little sticky window thing, the suction cup thing was fantastic. And if there's some way we can ever recover it, I would love to see the video of what happened to it after.
Hi, no name cat.
The battery was pretty much full charge.
Hi,
it would have gone for a little while.
Right.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Anyway, we're letting that go.
That's it.
And to be fair, you did lose it twice. And
I should have.
You did get it back once.
I did get it back once. I should have just. While it's gone, I'm not going to worry about it, and I would have had it back at the end of the day. They would have brought it onto the ship.
Somebody mentioned how great it was to have community when he was telling the story about how he got it back the first time.
Absolutely.
So the other great thing about the community, I'm going to tell this story because it's a feel-good one.
Yeah.
There was a stop in China where somebody who was on one of the excursions had left a bag, not a valuable bag, but a bag in one of the ladies' restrooms, and was like, hey, this is a crapshoot, but just in case. hey, I left a bag. This is vaguely what it looked like. If anybody has it, here's where we are.
Where'd you put that?
Say Boca Chan, please. I don't know what that means.
I think it's in Vietnam.
It's what?
I think Boca Chan.
I don't know what that means. Over 50, we get CRS disease. Don, I'm not sure what that is, but I have a feeling it has something to do with memory. Anyway.
I don't know.
That sounds like it might be. Hi, Antonio. Anyway, so she posted this on one of the Facebook groups, and no kidding, like within a few minutes, can't remember shit. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so within the first hour of her posting that, somebody said, hey, yeah, in fact, we did pick it up, and here you go. It means you beautiful. Thank you, Land of Beauty.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I posted that in the Facebook group, and then I remembered, we also have a WhatsApp chat group. So I put it in there, and added to the WhatsApp group, hey, if anybody hasn't made it back to the ship yet and you have a translator, if you could, maybe type that into the translator and show the driver and see if by any chance somebody had picked it up. Now, it didn't actually work out, but I know for a fact that Amazu, Josh, at least asked. I think maybe one or two others might have asked as well, based on the responses we got. We didn't get it back, but it was still nice to have that community.
Nice. Very nice. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate the try of figuring out. And there you, what is it? Like we had already talked about at that point, if they do find lost items, generally they'll, if it's
turn it into the lost and found. But
talking about the community, the people in
the restaurant,
Kagoshima, everybody was super nice. The place was, it's just a beautiful little city. Almost no trash on the streets.
Hi, JB.
Even with all the traffic,
Diana.
it's nice and quiet. You don't hear a whole lot of people honking horns.
That was really nice.
It's really nice and quiet and peaceful. Really wonderful people there.
And when we were in the taxi line, we had two different people ask us if we wanted to share taxi in. So even though they didn't take credit cards and that's all we had, we probably could have gotten into town. It was more the time that we were spending sitting there that I felt was getting nice. We got a late start anyway.
Yeah, well, we by design, kind of. We want to let all the excursion people get through the terminal. Right,
and from our understanding, the day before, we weren't going to have, gangway down until 11. So we were our morning was spent, based on that time frame. Hi, Nicole, Michelle, and Vicky. Good to see you, and thanks for the love there. Anyway, so then it was gangway down at 10. So we kind of lost an hour because we were just misunderstanding what time we were going to be able to get off the ship.
Yeah, things went a little bit quicker than anticipated, I believe.
And either way, whether we misunderstood or it was just earlier, it was fine. But I am going to show this. So in case any of our viewers are in Kagoshima, and you see this one? We're pretty sure that's the tram we were on when we lost the GoPro.
Pretty sure it's not going to be there.
Right.
Though.
So, well, I know, but there would be a reward if we got it. I know we're not going to get it back, but I still thought it was funny. We're pretty sure this is the tram we were on. And they don't have a whole bunch even when we were at the end of the line tram yards, they don't have none of them look the same. So
they got a bunch of older and newer all together. So.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out which ones. I think these are all the buses, but I know this is a tram. I know that's a tram, and I think the rest of these are buses.
It looked more like the older one because the way the interior was.
Yeah.
It was a more older classical style.
It was definitely the brown and the dark brown and tan one.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, thank you, Josh Amazu, for
attempting to
for
find
at least
something.
asking the question for that. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so coming up, we have 2 nights in Tokyo, or 2 days in Tokyo. Then we're in Mount Fuji, and then we are in Osaka. So 4 more days. Katie, just an idea for future births prior to arriving. You might be able to reach out and arrange for a private tour driver, often for way less than a tour cost. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of our friends have done that.
Thank you guys so much for the live. Sparkle, Connie, Tammy. Just, gosh, thanks so much. I really appreciate that. And then we have, after all of the stops in Japan, we have 4 sea days in a row. And I wanted to say this too, because I haven't done a book club in over a week now because there have been so few sea days. And even though I might have time to do it, getting it put together, I have to coordinate with Renee's schedule, and everything's just been so busy. And Renee and Tom had, I'm going to share this, and I'm pretty sure this is okay because they've been sharing this, but Tom was dropped off for the Renee Scholl set sale on TikTok and YouTube. So Tom was dropped off at a police station when he was less than 5 days old, and eventually adopted by a couple out of Michigan. And this is just like, when Tom was doing some training, and I'm not going to say which one because I actually don't remember exactly what it was, but Tom had done some training. Okay. And there was somebody from Korea who was his suite mate while they were both going through the training. So it was training that they did for other government officials. Yeah. And they became like best friends. And, you know, after the training was over, his friend went back to Korea. They've kept in touch. And he hasn't seen his friend in 18 years. So when they were in Seoul, his friend is now really good friends with the chief of police, who is at the same, it's not the exact same building because it's different, it's been remodeled, but in the same place as the place that Tom was dropped off. And so because they're friends, they had somebody pick them up at the cruise terminal, took them all around. They said, treated them like royalty, and they did a DNA test. Now, they had already transferred, because his friend is police related, they were able to get his DNA into, all they have is a criminal database there to see if he was related to anybody, because he's looking for family members. And so they did another DNA swab while he was there. It's going to be a few months before they get any information back. But they are expanding into, so now Korea is getting into not just a criminal database, but an overall like missing children database. And he has, like, nowhere in the US and nowhere in Korea so far has he come up with the searches they've done, no family matches at all, like not even close relations. So I don't know if they have high hopes for this or not, but really I have high hopes for them. Tours by Locals is fairly reputable, and they have Tokyo drivers. I think we're gonna
definitely so.
I'm not sure where we need to figure that out though. At least for the second day in Tokyo. Has this got anything to do with Karate Marty? No, I don't know who Karate Marty is, Scott, so I'm gonna say no. I don't know who that is. Thanks, Legs. Thanks, Moni. So I'm really excited for them. There's a possibility. It's going to be a couple months before they hear anything back.
Did you mention the 23andMe?
Oh, because they'd already done that in the U.S. I didn't mention that specifically, but they'd already done some of the DNA tests that were available in the U.S., and he's got definitely no close relatives in any of the databases in the United States.
But one of the things that's unique is that he is 100% Korean.
Oh, that part.
Which is, unusual. Usually people have a couple of percentages of something else.
Right.
He is 100% Korean, that said.
And and I think they even narrowed it down to the area that he was born. So
so it's in the Seoul Incheon area, basically.
Which is unusual, and hopefully that yields some results now that they're getting into another database. Crossing our fingers for them.
Yep.
And you may be hearing more about that. I know Beth Ann, I think, talked to her the other day, and we're trying to get them some traction. Just getting the word out, because a lot of times that kind of helps get results, sharing the story.
Yep.
And let's see. Okay, so anyway, the next set of C days, I will definitely be doing an Outlive book club, because we finally have time to, like, get some things done.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a pause from all of the jabbering I've been doing and just kind of ask, does anybody have any questions about anything, about something you'd like to know about the places we've been? I will share with you that after the Japan stuff, we're going to, because Katie, you were asking if we were in Vietnam, I think. So after the 4 C days, we have Nha Trang, Vietnam, and Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, and then another C day. And that's all I have for the schedule for this calendar. Because I can't think any more than this many days in advance. How was the China Wall? It was amazing. So we did the day trip instead of the night trip. So we didn't have the song and dance, the the cool routine, but we kind of got to visit. We got to walk way more areas than I guess the night crew did I'm guessing for safety reasons.
I think so too.
The grade on that, not even the steps, it was just like flat rock, was so steep in some areas. It was just amazing being there, but it was also kind of treacherous. Places where they did have steps.
Yeah, the steps that they did have in place, you could actually see it. You know, there was a usual minimum height of the step, but every so often they'd throw in one that was a little bit higher. And
I saw at least 2 people trip on that.
I tripped on it, so it was 3 right there when we went by it. But they did that. That's more of a defensive type thing. So if someone does get on top of that rampart, on top of that wall where the fighting's going on, they're unfamiliar with the steps, and they'll be tripping on it and falling down, and causing other soldiers to fall down.
Yeah.
And that gave the Chinese an advantage.
Ingenious. Legs is asking, why aren't we visiting Thailand? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it's not on the itinerary.
I just think it was time for the schedule that they were looking before they had to make the big changes. Obviously, they set that up. So they were trying to get around to Dubai at a certain point, and then back through originally through the Red Sea, and of course on through the Mediterranean.
Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, that could have added on. That it could not. The port may not have been available in the time frame we were going to be around.
And Lily is asking, were you able to see some of the eclipse even though the totality was in the U.S.? I did not.
Oh, I put out a video on my
you?
Instagram that was talked about the
High spiral
Nagasaki eclipse. So I'm Third Rock Vagabond on Instagram, and so I did a
You did?
Nagasaki eclipse. Yes, I did.
Okay, I didn't realize you had some of that.
Yeah, I did. Y'all go check it out.
Michael Griffin is, how tall is the wall? Did you do any research on that?
About that high? No, I don't know. I don't know how tall it is. It's pretty tall.
I'm trying to think. Well, it depends on the area too, right?
Yeah.
Because it does this all over the place.
And I'm sure they kept the.
So when we were standing on the wall, the
Yeah, because looking from the top down is kind of deceptive, because you look down and they're built on the top of those ridges.
Yeah.
So it hits the ground, and then you got a ridge that drops very steeply. In some cases, sheer cliff, very steeply. So that kind of gives you a depth perception. I'd say it's on the front side of the wall where the enemy would approach from. I'm sure it's probably at least about roughly 20 feet high.
I was going to say 20 to 30 on that side.
Yeah, and then
on
shorter.
the back side, inside, shorter, maybe 10 or 15.
Yeah, because it didn't have the full wall with the
Thanks for the love, Tammy.
the fighting positions that they would be throwing
SGH.
spears or shooting arrows from.
Yeah. Oh, and so one interesting thing that we saw, because rainfall is going to be an obvious issue, right? So they had little breaks in the wall itself, on the ground of the wall itself, where water would drain out. And these do not look, at least in the area of the wall they did not look like refurbished, because they weren't done with pipes. It was still concrete, and so it would a rock.
Yeah.
So it would drop down, and it would be graded out.
There again, part of that offset from the height, where it would slope down, and then they put that little cup drain across the wall, and then it'd be a little bit higher on the downslope side.
At least a foot away from the wall.
Yeah.
Right, that first one. And then it would drop down into another one that was at ground level, and another certain amount of feet out, and it would drain out from there.
Yeah, those little troughs that they'd put across the width of the walking area of the wall would go through the backside, and there again would have a kind of a trough spout that would come out that Leah was talking about, and then it would fall down to get it away from the base of the wall, to prevent eroding.
And to reduce the velocity and the force of the water coming out. And of course to get it away so it's not eroding right underneath the wall. So that was, we did, I got some video of that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We did not take our phones into China, so the GoPro was all we had.
Yeah.
And
GoPro, well, I had my digital camera.
Finn. And oh yeah, that's right. You had a DSLR. So I did most of the shooting with the GoPro. I did get video of that, and luckily, before we got off into Kagoshima, Steve had offloaded all of the footage from the GoPro before we went into town. So
did I mention I'd gotten into the swing of using it? download the video off of it. Yeah,
Bye, Dawn.
Bye,
you later.
Dawn. Glad you're here. What's for dinner?
Let her,
I'm kidding.
let her go to dinner. Thanks for joining, though. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so it was really a neat experience to see the wall.
I like seeing the engineering stuff from you know.
I know they've rebuilt a lot of it.
They did, yeah.
But still, you know, there's still some of it that's original. Some of the areas that are the original part,
Chicken wings.
is usually chicken wings. That sounds good to me.
Have a
But
good night, Dawn.
they usually, you know, reduce traffic. It's just for like special occasions, but they don't want to damage the actual original parts of the wall by having tourist traffic on it. They want to kind of protect that. It's, you know, it's kind of like some areas of with the pyramids. They got them blocked. Certain areas blocked off because they don't want the traffic to get in there and mess stuff up since it's so old.
Sure. Okay, so another thing I wanted to share with you guys is that Helen Mullahill. Hi, Hugs. Good. Welcome.
Oh, glad you're here. Glad you're here.
And sorry, I missed one. Spiral Down. I read somewhere that bricks are made of some sort of rice concrete. Oh, I had not read that.
I have not either.
Oh, and TJ says the same thing. Was the part
Yeah.
about it having being held together by rice real or a joke? So you know what? I don't know.
Don't know.
I'm gonna have to.
That was not part of our tour guide's.
Yeah, they didn't really share a
repertoire,
lot of that stuff.
so-
I mean, fun stuff, but not actual.
There was stuff that he couldn't talk about.
Right. I don't think you went over that. So, Helen, if you want to go back and see the first part, you know, it'll be up on YouTube in about 10 minutes after we're done with this live. And I also wanted to share, we have a town hall like right at 9 a.m., which is at the hour point for
so we're
this.
gonna have a hard,
so we may
hard
even
break.
have to, shut that off. We may even have to cut this off a few minutes early, but we're still going for now. But we do need to be at that town hall because it's a last minute one, and you know they never tell you exactly what you're going to hear about. I think so that people don't decide, oh, I don't need to know about that, and don't show up because they want us to all show up. So, what else we got to talk about? What else? Like we're going to be really busy during the sea days, so we're still making up time for all the bad internet days. Like I actually took a week off, and I wasn't editing hardly anything. Helen says, you know, I'm gonna thank you. Is today a C day or are you getting off? Today is a C day, and but it's one smack in the middle of a whole bunch of stops. So we started this mini sailing with Beijing, China. We had one C day, and we had 2 days in Beijing, and they were pretty full for most of us because of the long tour that, like, some people did the Forbidden City and the Great Wall.
Yeah.
The Great Wall trip was supposed to be 11 hours and it ended up being more like 13.
Yeah.
And then, so for the people who did the longer one, he's going to want to tell this story. Just give me a second. So we only had one sea day after that, and then 2 days in Japan, again, where everybody's kind of getting out and doing stuff. One sea day, and then 4 more port days. And then we have four sea days in a row, which is when you're doing port, you really need 2, like a full weekend, because one is just to take care of business that you let slide when you were too busy, and then the other one is to relax. Are you sick of rice yet? No, I don't think that's possible.
No.
You video and put up the town hall for us. I hadn't planned to, but I can. It's easy enough to take my camera in there and do that. So I may, if it's something dumb or boring, I probably won't put it up, but I will record it anyway just to see.
Yeah.
And no, not sick of rice yet.
No.
I do.
We don't eat that much of it to get sick of it. So.
That's true too. I will say, so we didn't order ramen when we were at that ramen place, and I really wish we had. When we were looking at the bowls, they just looked huge, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to eat all that."
They were pretty big.
Right. So we ordered just some chicken and a small bowl of rice, and we tried to get a side order for us to share of just a small bowl of noodles. And the lady at the restaurant wasn't understanding what we were asking for, so we just said, never mind, we'll try it somewhere else.
Yep.
And both of the people that we were with that did order the ramen bowls were like, without a doubt, this is the best ramen ever. Like, even compared to all the other places, they've tried it before. So then I kind of regretted not, and so something else I learned is apparently in many Asian cultures, if you actually finish your meal,
Yeah.
it's considered rude to do that because then it implies that the host did not give you
Yeah.
enough to eat. In Tokyo, you'll still have a chance for ramen.
Yeah, we still got a couple of stops in Japan, so we still got plenty of time to have it.
And J-Man is asking anything about Africa yet, like excursions. So we, I think that might be what we're talking about because they were supposed to have the excursions out by the end of the first week of April. That was their goal, and they did not. They're not out yet.
It's a lot of coordination to work
So we'll see. And we're kind of hesitant. There's maybe one excursion we might do in South Africa that's not Royal Caribbean related, but just because of the lack of infrastructure in a lot of the countries we're visiting, if we do book excursions, they are almost certainly going to be Royal Caribbean ones so that, you know, if there's any issues that we know they'll wait for us.
Yeah.
In Tokyo, you'll still have a chance for, oh yeah, gotcha. A bite. I'm not sure.
So the when we went to the wall, of course, like all the excursions, they get all the people up in the theater on the ship, in the front of the ship, and of course you go through. You have your ticket. That you go down through the line, and they give you a little sticky with a number on it.
This one was actually in the Safari Club, though.
That's true. It was.
Yeah.
That's true because they had other things going on in the theater. Pardon me, but so we got our number, and that's the group you're assigned to, and the bus you get on. They all have the number posted in the front windshield, and there's a tour guide for each. So we got onto ours with 3 buses in the afternoon that we were going when we left. Well, we left about
early morning or late morning.
Late morning, very late morning, right just before lunch. Then we all kind of ran together a little bit.
Literally on top of each other.
Well, yeah.
But
until our bus started slowing down. When we got north of Beijing and started going up into the mountains, that grade, it just, you could hear the engine slowly, RPMs dropping, and it hit another gear and went.
To be clear, when we first started the trip, the engine was making that noise, and I called it before we even started going uphill.
So at one point we're chugging up this hill, and of course everyone's zipping past us. Zip, zoom, zoom, I mean, buses, everybody's just flying past. People pass us on the right on a 2-lane highway, passing us in the breakdown lane. And at one point about then, I seriously actually saw a bug flying faster than we were going, go past our window. And it's, so we make it up to the point where we exited the freeway. Made our way up into the little
village where the restaurant was.
And then our bus just completely breaks down at the narrowest point of the road.
And
nothing can get past us,
he's
one
trying
way or
to
the other.
Leave a final bike. Oh, leave a final bike like you're too full to finish. Yes.
Yes.
We got to do that from now on. We did not know that until yesterday.
Yeah, it was good. We just keep gobbling it. At least I did.
Yeah.
But anyway, the bus broke down, and we had to walk the last basically 150 meters.
Right. So there was a few people. There were a couple people in wheelchairs. So they sent down one of those electronic golf carts to pick them up, which was nice. But
we walked the last 150 meters to the lunch, and I still have that video. I need to do something with.
Yeah. And by the time we finished lunch, they had another bus for us. So that meant another bus driver, and this is important to the rest of the story because the first bus driver we had, 20 years of experience.
Yeah,
you know?
Knew where we came from.
Right. and knew where we came from. So the second bus driver.
So anyway. But then again,
so it didn't cause any backlog
no disruption
to our schedule.
And what we had lunch was a neat little place. It was some really good food. The first couple of dishes they brought out, I wasn't too keen on.
Just because of personal preference.
Yeah,
not
personal
because
preference.
They weren't good.
Yeah, personal preference. I just there were several other people around our table. We had what was it 10 at our table, and but they kept bringing out food and. So the gung bao chicken was fantastic.
Yeah,
and
he
they
ate
spell
almost
it
all of it.
And kung
he left some for other people.
Yeah. Kung bao, they spell it with a B instead of a P, as we say kung pao chicken.
But it was the same thing.
It was same. The pieces of pork were fried. They weren't as thick. There was more of a strip, little flat strip kind of.
Oh, you're talking about a different dish. Okay.
Yeah. It was a sweet and sour pork. It was this one. I'm sorry, I jumped over. The sweet and sour pork, it was more like a strip of almost bacon-looking size. It was flat, kind of wide, but they cut it till it was about this long. But they deep fry it, and it was a harder fry than what you'd normally get. It wasn't a big chunk of meat, but it was just that flat, crispy, and it was delicious, and the sauce was delicious.
Okay.
And I chowed on that pretty good.
Yes. Moving on. So
Moving
the we had a great time. Then anyway, we go back to the wall. We have a great time. We're doing our thing there. Get back on the bus, and we're heading back. So it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
From Beijing to where the port was.
We stopped at the Jade Palace.
And, oh yeah, sorry. And we stopped at the Jade Palace, which was a store, not really a palace. We didn't buy anything.
Nice carved jade though. Some
we
really
did
beautiful
have
pieces.
They had a little kiosk on the side. Let me see if I can find this.
Yeah. A little. Would set up a little store and a little tent right outside.
So they had snacks.
They had snacks.
Coffee, ice cream.
I had a coffee ice cream, which was very tasty. And Lee had got some little nibbles, but it was neat. It was neat. And we went in at one point into the Jade Palace to look around. I got a couple of pictures of the big carvings they had. One was a big tall ship with sails, and it's really, really amazing. On that thing they had a jade, carved chain of jade. You know, the links, they didn't put the links together. They actually carved the jade into a link, carved the next one into a link, carved the next one. You've seen it done with wood, but to do it with jade. What's
I'm looking for the hair thingies I got. My
hair
sparklies.
Things. I don't know where you put them. Yeah, okay. But anyway, the Jade Palace, we were, there's some really neat pieces there, some really beautiful pieces. And she found them.
So to be clear, I did not get snackies while we were there.
No.
I got these.
Yeah.
My sparklies for hair. So I braid my hair a lot, and they're for decorations.
Let them see them a little bit better.
Okay.
They're pretty pretty.
This one.
Sparklies. They got sparklies, some jade, maybe.
20.
Jade colored. Yeah.
21.
21.
Yeah.
21. W-O-N, not O-N-E.
Yeah.
Let's see. Very
so that
pretty.
was my
Yes,
splurge.
Yes, they are. Do not get a hot dog in Japan. It's woof woof.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Helen says that those were the.
Yeah. Thank you for the
gorgeous.
heads up,
Yes.
Katie.
Yes.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Amisa. But they're cute and very shiny and sparkly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's why I get that. I mean, I'm a dead I am a sucker for pretty sparkly things, like a crow,
Especially when it's blue.
or a raccoon. Anyway, so that was, I had fun with that. I've been kind of looking for. I remember my mother had a. I don't even know what you'd call the dress, but a very traditional Asian sort of dress. I think my dad bought it for her in Korea back in the day, and that dress fit me when I was like 12 years old, and doesn't anymore.
Snacks
But
were for
anyway, not
sale.
mine, and I really want to get another one. And I
Free. The tent itself was a little.
not a kimono, but something. If I get one, I'll wear it and I'll show you guys.
The snacks were pay. They weren't free. They had some little cookies inside the Jade Palace, and you could get a little cup of tea in there. But this was a separate vendor set up outside that we stopped at, and Leah had gotten the sparklies, and I got a
Coffee ice cream.
coffee ice cream.
Hi,
on a
Chris.
stick.
Welcome.
So yeah, at that point we had some yuan. I said won, W-O-N, a while ago. It's yuan, yuan in China, yuan. But yeah, it was a little separate thing, private vendor.
I'm gonna ask.
Blue collar, yeah, I hear you, Chris.
Rice wall. I'm writing down all the things I need to look up. The rice wall for the Great
Yeah.
Wall. I had not heard that before.
No.
So I guess I
neither.
don't have any official word on whether or not that's true. But honestly, even if we've had a couple of guides who have been who have perpetuated myths.
Oh yeah, well, there's been a lot of myths flying around all over the place. Not
Right.
just this
No,
here,
and-
but
yeah.
through the centuries.
Well, I'm thinking about when we were in Cusco. We loved our guide there. This is no shade on him because he was absolutely
fantastic.
amazing.
He was
But-
fantastic.
I'd been to Cusco and Machu Picchu before, and the guide that we had there told us some things. And when I was like, "Hey, is that is that still a thing? He was like, oh, no, no, no. And then the longer he kept talking, he admitted it was still a thing. So it was kind of like,
yeah, one of the delicacies.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was a tradition that involved dogs. So I'm not going to share that one.
Yeah, no,
but anyway,
no.
it was something I was pretty sure I already knew was true. And then when he said, no, 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 that's not like, oh, your last guy lied to you. And then the more he talked, it was like, oh, yeah, my grandma did that, or some of his older relatives did actually do that. So, and it was, just to be clear, it wasn't cannibalism or anything.
No.
Melinda, how old are you? Oh my God, I'm 53. I'm assuming you're asking me, but Steve, you're how old?
Yeah, but Melinda's. Is it a y'all kind of you, or is it a you specific to one of us?
I've already said.
I'm 60. So.
Yeah, and you're young at heart. That's what's important.
Well.
Except when we walk a lot, and then
I'm young in my humor. How's that? Long about 13ish.
And then we
somewhere
spend
there.
The next 2 days recovering from, as long as there's not lots of steps involved, we're usually both pretty okay.
Yeah.
I'm having, like, I've never been one of those people who has back issues or leg issues or whatever, but I did something to my knee like a week ago, and for whatever reason, it doesn't like me going down to my right knee does not like me going downstairs.
We're all 21 plus, shipping and handling years old. I like that.
I like that, Katie.
Yeah. That is good, Katie. But
so yeah, we had, when we were out with the shoals in Nagasaki.
Yes, Nagasaki.
Most of the places we went to, it wasn't so much the walk, it was the stairs.
Yeah.
There were a lot of really steep going up and down stairs, and there was one place where we could have, like, we'd already gone up a whole bunch of steps, and we could have gone to the left or to the right for more, and another temple or shrine thing up there, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Well, and so, Katie, to your point, neither one of us is going to go gray because he doesn't have any hair.
There is, but I'm shaving it.
Yeah, and again, I'm 53, and my blonde hasn't changed yet. I imagine at some point it'll just turn white. So yeah, didn't.
So I make this shit look good.
Stuff.
That too.
Yeah. Okay. We're trying to be family friendly here. Okay. Didn't come back with 3 balls. Haha. I don't know what that means. But we're gonna pass on through that. Okay. So I'm gonna check on the rice wall thing for the Great Wall, and then I think we might just close it off there. There's no reason to keep going because we don't really have much else to talk about.
Any other questions
Probably
about the
after
cruise?
Any other questions about the cruise or anything?
Where we've been?
We will probably have more to talk about after the town hall, unless it's a boring one. The last one we had was boring. It was really just it was a consecutive cruisers thing. Yeah. Thanks, TJ. You have a good day too.
Yes. Again, we really appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Yep.
Showing up.
And thanks for
Katie's
all the love.
Always here. We thank you.
Katie, TJ, J-Man. Any plans in Tokyo? No, but we have to figure that out today. If nothing else, we may try and pair up with another one of the couples who has maybe done some research. Yeah. We kind of take turns doing that. Like, we've got this thing, and we'll tell other people, and then invite them to come with us, and vice versa. Rest up for your next days of adventure. Yes. Going to try to today.
One thing, we do have 2 days in Tokyo, so that means there's no gangway up on the first night. It's open 24/7.
Right. So we can do later in the day, which is nice.
And see, one of the things I'd still love to do if we have the opportunity, I'd love to get on one of the bullet trains.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It would be, but I haven't looked at a schedule. We would only be able to go like one station down, turn around, come back, because we wouldn't be able to go all the way up to the north end of the.
And try to plan it for a time when people aren't commuting to and from work, so that we're in a less crowded time.
Well, the bullet trains go farther. They're not the local ones, so they'll be going, long distance. But seeing what the first station would be past Tokyo.
Right. So 2 things, again, so for those of you who know Renee Scholl, she has an organizing channel thing, and I am not good at this, so she's going to be organizing the room. We're going to do that later this afternoon. We're going to record it. Both of us are. That should be interesting. that's going to happen today. And then in the next 4 C days is when I'm going to do the next book club Outlive. And then we'll do another one of these updates. So we'll, whenever we get from the recording today.
Weren't you going to do an unboxing of
Well, yeah, and an unboxing of all the organization stuff that I bought. Oh, and I got the Meta glasses, the recording glasses. And
when did you get them, Leah?
In Australia. And I haven't taken them out of the box yet.
No.
And then I got the new gyro that we got in Seoul.
Yeah.
I haven't opened that one either. No. So we're doing that. Anyway, thank you guys all for joining us today.
Yes, sorry,
Have a great evening.
Sorry we're cutting it off a little bit short, but we need to make it over to the
and
town
get set
hall.
up if I'm going to record.
But thanks, Katie. You have a great week, and
thanks,
we're happy
thanks,
that you're with us, Katie. We're happy with all of y'all are with us.
J-Ma'am, thank you, and thanks everybody for the love.
Thanks. Yes,
really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks for following us and putting up with our rambling and goofiness.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Love you. Mean it.